Well, this is lesson 4. I wanted to explain a little bit more, some kind of documentation for either those of you that wanted more information than just the lecture, or perhaps you were ill that day and wondered what we did. Since in the lesson on Canvas I say to stop at page 93, I think, in the book, and then switch over and do a contact form, among other things. So, and then I gave you I said go into the contact folder on the resources. Let's see, where is that? I had that open. I'll have to find it for a minute. Boy, I've got a big computer. It's hard to find stuff. So, web principles, teaching, web principles, lesson 4. I said to go into resources and get a folder called contact form, which has a PDF in it and a file called email.php. So you will need to get that and then copy those two files into the root of lesson 4, which I've actually already done right here. There they are. I put them in a subfolder. It doesn't matter. And then follow the PDF, and I've got the PDF open. Now the problem with this PDF is that it's written about 8 years ago, 2006 or so, back when I used to teach a class called Dreamweaver on building a web page interface with tables. So the first 5.5 pages do not apply anymore. But starting on page 6, it says adding a form to your contact page, and that mostly works, except for because it's an 8-year-old lesson. Some of the menus in Dreamweaver don't work, so I'm going to redo this now using the current CC version of Dreamweaver. And of course all of this can be done in code, so I'll also show the code here for those of you that work in Notepad++ or Sublime or even just plain old Notepad, because it all works there. It's just some of the menus are slightly harder because you have to type them instead of press a button. Okay, so here we have our contact form as it is, after you stopped at page 93 in the book that I wrote for this class. And I think what I'll do is I'll just shove this content down. Or no, I think I'll put the form underneath this content. So in Dreamweaver, I just click after the email address, which, by the way, I've corrupted using stuff I already covered in the book. Right there you can see the mail to goes to my email address that is preceded by asterisk remove asterisk. And then what your person that sees that visits this on the internet, they see the real email address, but the spammers don't look for that. They look for the href right here and the mail to. Once they see that, they say, aha, someone's got an email address. I'm going to go collect that, harvest that, and put it in my database and send you an email for interesting offers that will make you rich and famous. Spam. So none of us want that. But in case that's not secure enough for you, you want your contact information hidden even more deeply, you can use a PHP form. So that's where we're headed next. So I think I'll leave this here since it's pretty, and I'm going to press the Enter key. I am working in the design view of Dreamweaver to just start a new line. And anytime you start a new line like this in Dreamweaver, what it does up in the code is it puts a new paragraph tag in there, and it inherits any properties you may have had on the paragraph tag above it. You can see I've been doing text align center on all these paragraph tags. I'm not sure I want that anymore on this form. So I think I'm just going to get rid of the style, the inline style that says for the paragraph tag style text align center. I'm just going to delete that. And then any words I put down here, Dreamweaver does insert. ampersand NBSP semicolon, but I can replace that with words, or how about I'll say contact form, and I'll come down here and click, and there it is. See how it's aligned left because it doesn't have the text align center property, and that's fine. And I'll press the Enter key again, and I'm going to start inserting stuff. Now, where the PDF was wrong is that this version of Dreamweaver does form insertion slightly different. So, to insert a form, you get your cursor blinking in the design view where you want to have a contact form, and you say insert. Where am I here? Form, and then form. That's the part that the PDF doesn't cover. So you need to insert a form and then a form, and then in the design view that comes in as a dotted red box. If you look up here in the code, you'll see that Dreamweaver has inserted a starting stopping form tag. It gives it an ID of form 1, a name of form 1, and a method of post. We'll change that later. But for now, just be aware of that starting and stopping form tag is this dotted red line. The dotted red line is a visual aid that Dreamweaver puts there for you to tell you that you're inside of a starting and stopping form tag. So now I want to insert my first form objects. And I'm going to go to Insert, and then from the list of form objects that I can insert, I want a text form. And I need to open properties. So window properties is already open. Oh, here it is. Properties. And for that form, the name of that form, hang on, I gotta go look at the PDF. The PDF says you insert a form. I gotta zoom in on this PDF. And it says so visitor underscore name, and I want characters 30, maximum characters 30. So back to Dreamweaver. So the name needs to be visitor underscore name. Oops, I spelled that wrong. Visitor underscore name. Make sure I didn't get any extra spaces in it. That looks good. Okay. And then size is 30, and then maximum length of 30. And then over here where it says text field, that's just the description of that Dreamweaver put in. I actually want that to say Y-O-U-R name, because someone will come to this page and they'll see this box, and the words prompt them your name. Oh, okay, so they put their name in there. And we capture the name that they put in there via this visitor underscore name. That is up here in the code, it's the name of this input box as far as connecting with a PHP script. Alright, so then I'm going to click to the right, make sure you're inside the dotted red box, press the Enter key, and I'm going to insert another text field. So, and notice how the red box got taller. That just means that this work I'm doing is all staying within the form tags. These two form tags, start form, stop form. And I'm about to insert another paragraph. So there's my cursor, it's blinking. I'm going to say insert form, and I want another text field. And I think this one also gets 30 and 30 for the size and the max length. And this one gets a name in the name box, or the name property of the input tag. it gets visitor underscore email. Visitor underscore email. And double check that against the PDF. Scroll down. Visitor underscore email and 30 and 30. Okay. So then back here, we're going to give this a description of YOUR address. Your email address. Not your email address, but the email address of the person who is visiting the web page. So this is telling them what they should enter in the box. Alright, I'm not really liking the way it's aligning. What could we do to fix that? Maybe nothing for now, but I'm sure that we could fix that. We could use align right. That might look better. Let's try it. If we go into this, let's see, each of these, I wonder if we could do this. I haven't actually tried this recently. So on each of these paragraph tags where we have these words and input boxes, we could say style equals 2 double quotes text dash align right. Text align right, does that work? I kind of like that. Maybe I'll do that to the other one. So it's just a what's called an inline style, text align right. I'll put one in this paragraph tag too. So everything within that paragraph tag aligns to the right. It could be worse. Now this contact form really looks like it needs to align to that. Well, I'll worry about that later. Alrighty then. So I'm going to click to the right of the box and I'm going to say the enter key. And notice how my cursor is staying to the right because Dreamweaver is watching what I'm doing, and it says, well, if he pressed the enter key, he probably wants his next P tag up here, line 53, to align to the right also. Your email address, so I want to insert a new thing after that, and this one's going to be a drop list. So insert form, what do they call it? I think it's a select box. You can't see it. I know it's off screen, but it's all the way down, like 3/4 of the way down the menu, and it's select. And it comes in, it looks like this. And then to edit that, you have to go to your properties panel. And we have to go to list values because there are currently none. Click that. And then we want to tell it what, so someone comes to this web page and they might be coming to buy mufflers from you, they might be coming to buy photography or web design services, maybe they need a WordPress site, who knows. So let's just list some things. For example, they can choose to ask me questions about well, I'm going to make it all lowercase just because I'm that way. And then the item label should match the value. So web design, I don't know if you can have spaces in there. You know, just because I'm paranoid, I'm going to say website, just because I'm not sure you can have spaces in there. So they're going to ask me a question about a website, and then I just want a new value, so plus sign up here in list values. So maybe they want me to take some photographs. So photography tab, photography, spelled it wrong, and then I want something else. Maybe I'll also do, what just happened? WordPress. And you can press tab to move between these They're the same. Item, label, and the value. Let's see, one more. What would they need help with? Website, photography, WordPress, e-commerce. I can never remember how to spell this word. Eesh, I think that's wrong. Okay, I gotta go ask Google. How do you spell e-commerce? Oh, I see. E-commerce, I'll just copy that. I think it's one word, but it's e-commerce, I guess. So 2 M's, 1 C. That's the tricky part. Or just like that. E-commerce. There we go. I'm a spelling weirdo. Everything has to be perfect. Alright, Control V. And maybe there's other stuff, but I think you get the idea. Website, photography, WordPress, e-commerce. What else could they need? So I'm going to say OK. You can add as many as you want. Then see how the select box gets as wide as is needed. And the name, you don't have to change it. Select will work. In fact, you have to have the name as select. And in the code, just so you know, because later on in other classes you will be writing these from scratch, it starts with a select tag and stops with a select tag. It also gets a label up here. That's just that word right there. But there's these option starting tags that start and stop. It's a little bit like a list item in that the options start and stop, but each one has a value that matches whatever's inside the starting and stopping tags. Okay, I also want, after the select, I'm going to go enter, and I'm going to insert another thing. So I'm going to go insert, form, and this time I want a text area, which again is off screen. I apologize for that. Text area, it's just insert, form, text area. And it comes in like this, and I touch it, and it needs to have a name. I gotta go read the PDF. I don't remember. PDF. Where are you? The name is message, and it's 5010. Wrap is virtual. Character width is 50. Number of lines is 10. The name on the text area has to be message, so that's a critical part. So in the name, it comes in with the default name of text area. That won't work. It has to be message, and that's because I programmed the PHP email generator form to look for a text area with the specific name of message, all lowercase. And then let's see, I think columns. Oh, I gotta go look. Forgot already. Number of lines is 10. Characters is 50. So number of lines or rows is 10, and characters is 50. It says columns now instead of characters. Who figured out that? You know, oh, we can't say characters anymore. We need to say columns. But whatever. You come down here and click, and you can see it looks right. It's the right size. That's pretty good size. If you wanted to have something in this box as the default value, I think you can click in here and you can say send me, or tell me what you need, or how about this, write me a letter. Write me a letter. There you go, write me a letter, and that will show up. And then of course they most people know, unless they were born in the last 6 months, that means you should write a letter there. Last but not least, I'm going to click to the right of that text area. I did give it message, did I not? Yeah, message, okay. Click to the right, press the enter key, and you need to have a button on a form. So I go to the insert menu and I say form, and I'm looking for submit button. Every time I try to do something in here, it's always off the screen. But so what? You'll figure it out. Looking for form and then submit button. Yay! Submit. Now this one isn't quite as critical because it comes in with a value submit, ID submit, name submit, input type is submit. I'm not sure which is a critical one. I think its type is submit. But the value on that is kind of fun. You can change that. It won't hurt anything. You can say, send me an email. And it appears right here. Send me an email. And it doesn't break the button because the type of button is still meaning submit. Okay. Now, before this is going to work, you have to tell the form tag that it needs to connect to some kind of robotic email generator script. And you do that by, down at the bottom of Dreamweaver, if you click something in Dreamweaver, down at the bottom you have these little hierarchical tags. I forget what they're called. But anything you click on is a button down here. If you want to move upstream in the parent-child relationship of this HTML page, you click the thing you want to touch. Like if I want to touch the paragraph tag that is the parent of this submit button, I click that and it lights it up. If you want to select the form that is the parent of the paragraph tag, you click this button right here. And see what that does is it just lights up all of the code from starting form tag to stopping form tag. So Dreamweaver is just looking at the logic in your code and saying, okay, parent-child relationship, boxes within boxes, all that stuff. But what it comes down to is when you select the form tag like that, which you could do by hand, of course, you get this properties panel and it says, what is your action? And that just means what email script are these values that get entered into this form by your web page visitors? What PHP script is it going to connect to do the work, to send the email? So it's going to go to a form called email.php. Email.php. And as soon as you type that, press enter, you'll see that your form now has an action property added to it right here. The starting form tag, I'm going to highlight this, has an action of email.php, a method of post. These two things here don't matter, name and ID. And just in case some of you are doing this in a code editor other than Dreamweaver, to make this easier to read, I'm going to highlight all that code. I don't know if that will help, but there it all is. You can freeze the video and just type directly from here. Email action email.php, all of the various things that I put in there. Okay. And let's see. I guess one other thing I could do this is I could highlight that code in case that's hard to see because that's critical. I'll go to Notepad, paste it into Notepad, and make it wide enough to look at. There you go. That should be easier to read if you need to read it. Alright. So, and then if I just go back to split, here's what we have. All that. What if I should have this stuff centered? It looks kind of goofy over to the right. I'll think about it later. It doesn't look too bad. I'm tempted to put this all inside a div that is centered so that it's flush right but within a centered div. but it's okay for now. I'll do that later. You could do that though. You could enclose this whole form within a div tag that has text line center, and then within there, each of the things would be aligned to the right within their parent, which is centered on the web page. But I'll let you guys figure that out. Okay, I'm going to stop this segment. Stop. What? Oh, it was recording. Who knew? They should tell me these things. So, I'm going to go here to now that all the code is written for this form, I need to edit the actual the action that is going to happen. Like, it's going when they click the form, the values that were entered in here, such as the name. Like, let's say George Bush is going to write me an email. He'll type George Bush, and then it'll put George Bush's email address. He'll select what he wants from the select books list, and then he'll type the letter to me, and he'll click this button. Well, when he clicks that button, the form, this HTML page, takes an action, or executes an action, would be a better word. The action it does is whatever's in the form action box. And it says it's going to post. I think that just means send the, what would that be, 5 or 4 different pieces of data that were entered into the form by your user up to the server, and let the email.php script parse it or interpret it, and then execute whatever is the PHP script has been programmed to do, which is send an email. So we have to do a small edit to that PHP script. So hang on, let me save this change. File, save. Alright, come back here, and in your lesson 4 folder you should have copied the contact-form folder, which has that old PHP PDF, lesson 8 PDF, which is not very good since it's so old. But there is a email.php script in there, and you need to copy that and lift it up to the root of lesson 4. Paste it right here at the root by all your other HTML files. I'm going to drag that email.php file into Dreamweaver, and then view it in the code. So this is PHP is beyond the scope of this class. There was a time when I did quite a bit of it. I built a couple of e-commerce, well, one e-commerce shopping cart that had a update cart function and add to cart and all that stuff. So it's pretty boring, but some of you I know will probably end up specializing in e-commerce and MySQL and all that stuff. But this is just a little fragment, and it's truth be told, it's not even a very good PHP form. There's much better ones out there that have a better chance of getting through spam filters at, say, Yahoo Mail or Hotmail or whatever service you're using, Gmail. Anytime you generate an email with a script like this, it's potentially going to get intercepted by spam filters. So just be aware of that. There are better ones out here, but just for the purposes of this class, it's a beginning class. So I'll show you a little bit about this form. It has an embedded style sheet up in the head. You'll notice down the body there's a starting PHP tag, and plus there's these 4 boxes. Visitor name, remember you type those. Visitor name, visitor email, select, and message. That's why you had to type in those 4 boxes. You had to type them exactly like that. You could not vary from that. Or those entries in the form box, when they get up to this PHP script on the server, cannot communicate with the script because it was pre-programmed to use those values. And basically this thing just composites those values together and generates a page that says here's what you emailed me, And there's some normal HTML down here in the print area that says the information you entered in the form, and then message HTML, which is a composite of all of those values with line breaks in between. That's what /n. You don't need to know any of this stuff, but when you open this form, the only thing you need to touch is where are we here? Line 51, where it says mail, and it says mark@websterart.com. You need to put your real email address there, where my real email address is. Replace mine with yours. Do not touch the double quotes on either side. And in fact, try not to touch anything on this page unless you know PHP already, because a lot of this stuff is code that just cannot be touched. You know, stuff that looks that you understand, like a starting and stopping paragraph tag. Well, of course you can change that if you need to, make it look a little bit better. But start with just changing line 51 where there's an email address inside double quotes. So if you were, you know, John Q student, it would be John Q at cptc.student.edu, or whatever your address is. So put it in there, and I'm going to change it back to I think I'll just do I'll change it back to how it was, mark@websterart.com. And of course, your email address needs to go there. And then do file save. And then, so what happens is they fill out this form. You know, here, I'll just generate this page. So file, preview in browser. Make this small, so it fits. There we go. Now obviously I need to format this page. I mean, it looks kind of dumb right now. There's an email address and there's a form. I guess they could pick. And they could choose, let's see, so I want WordPress, and my name is George Bush. Email address is george@whitehouse.gov. I'm going to select that from the menu. Hi Mark, I'd like a WordPress site. George. Alright, and then send me an email. Now when you click send me an email, because this is locally just on our hard drive, or at school it'll be on the school network, you know, that room 107 storage MS 1729, it's not going to work. Send me an email. It says, ooh, whoa, what is this? That's because, and at school I think it just throws an error. PHP can't work on the room 107 storage servers. So you have to move this thing. I'm just going to go back. You have to lift this up to the Elmo server. So I'm going to stop this video and I'll go do that. It's just like with anything else. Maybe I'll even I don't think I can upload because my Wi-Fi network is blocking Dreamweaver's upload function, but I have other ways to upload. So when I come back, I will have uploaded the let's just go over here to the window, files. I'll go to this little expand collapse button, come back here. It's jumping around too much. There we go. So the things that need to go up are email.php and contact.html. Those two files have to get dragged across to the remote server, and then we can use it. But hang on, because I don't think I can do it here. I can try. Connect. Oh, that looks hopeful. Allow access. Really? I'm connected? Well, that's a big one. Maybe I fixed my problems. So I'm of johnsmith.site, so I'm going to drag these two files across. Please work. Synchronization can not be found. I'm going to say yes. Really? Yes to all. Just put it up there. Oh, sweet. That worked. I haven't seen this work in about 6 months. Maybe I fixed my problems. Might have been a Windows thing. Sweet. Okay. So then I can go up to the remote server, and I can go to let's see, http://elmo John Smith. Go to contact. Oh, I'm missing that picture. Forgot to send that up. This is the important part here, though. And obviously, I need to do something with contact form. It looks dumb over there. Just doing the program here. So, if I pretend that I am George Bush, my email address is george@whitehouse.gov, and website, I want a WordPress. So, hi Mark, I want a WordPress site. Thanks, George. Send me an email. And notice the address up here, it's email.php. So the information that was entered in those 4 forms, the name, the email, from the select box, I chose WordPress, and the message, there's the actual message, has been emailed to me. I will try to respond. Thank you for your time. Click your back button to return to my website. There's better ways to build this form. I talked about them during the lecture, but this is a bare bones version of it. I'm going to go back. Now I just need to go to my email. Let's see. Oh, I'm not logged in. Hang on a sec. Okay, I'm going to pause this. Okay, so I actually had to change the email address that it was sending to, because the server that I used was intercepting it. So I changed it to my Gmail account, and that one let it in, which is good because I think most of you probably have Gmail accounts. And here it is. There's a new email from George. Looks like I have 2 from George. Well, that's interesting. And it says, name is George Bush, email is george@whitehouse.gov. If I click it and scroll down, let's see, what has George got to say? Name is George Bush, there's his email address. He wants a WordPress site built, and message, hi Mark. So there you go. That form works. Just be aware that you may, it might be in your spam. You may have to click your spam filter. I've got I've got deleted messages and spam. You never know where these robotically generated emails are going to end up. So just be aware of that. There are, later on in the CIT program, you will learn how to build a more sophisticated email address that gathers more information in the form about who is sending it and sends it in a more sophisticated fashion. But this one, it gives you a basic concept of how it could work. And of course I showed you, I'm pretty sure, on, let's go to websterart.com. Might as well revisit this in case you missed the lecture. Go to my contact form. And I've got one of the more sophisticated ones running here. So if I do it here, I'll pretend that I'm, who am I today? I'll be Elvis. Elvis Presley. And my email address is elvis@graceland.com. Hey Mark, let's have a jam session. Signed, Elvis. Cool. That would be something. And I come down here, and oh, look at this picture of the... I think that's a hog. I think that's a hog. Please prove you're a human and enter the name of the animal above. And this is a custom script that I wrote. Bruce actually helped me a little bit with this. So notice what happens when I click the send this form button. Hey, did it work? Oh, I'm back at the form. It says, please name the barnyard animal. Starts with a P and has 3 letters. Okay, well, it wasn't a hog. It must be a pig. That starts with P. And then this form is intelligent. It watches what you do. So let's say that Elvis, who maybe just woke up, been gone for a while, is reading his email, and he types his email address wrong. It's elvisgraceland.com. He forgets the @ sign. He does everything else right. Enters the PIG. He clicks send this form, and this form is watching. This is called a sticky intelligent form, and it wants it right. It says, wait a minute, please enter a valid email address. What's up with that? Okay. And it's not quite as sticky as it could be. Like, it doesn't retain the value of PIG. So I have to enter that. But everything else is good. So I click send this form, and watch what happens. Instead of going to the email.php HTML page, it stays within the interface structure, and the PHP, notice I'm on contact2.php, which contains the whole interface structure, including the flyout menus and everything. But here's what you wrote. Your name, Elvis, your message, I will reply shortly. Thanks, Elvis Presley. And then if I go check my email, let's see, I think it was, where was I? Different browser, I believe. I got too much stuff running at one time. Was I still logged into my account? Jesus, this is complicated. If I just go back to my inbox, let's see what I got in here. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I think I'd have to be in my other account. Hang on a sec. Let's see here. I'm logging off screen into my my server account. Does that? Yeah, here we go. Elvis at Graceland. Message from the forum on my website. And see, this form does get through to my server. It says, Elvis Presley, hey Mark, let's have a jam session. All right. Sounds good to me. And that is the end of that.